Welcome back, you guys. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV, and welcome to the match preview of our upcoming game tomorrow at 12:30 PM UK time against Crystal Palace. It is going to be an early afternoon kickoff, so make sure you do not forget that. Of course, it's the final game before the dreaded international break, and I do this in quotations because honestly, I'm okay with the international break for this season. You know, now I get to see guys like Mason, Tammy, and now Hudson-Odoi getting called up to the national team. That makes it fun for me. I want to see how the England team improves and evolves and grows. So for me, I'm looking forward to seeing how we are going to do this international break. But you guys, for today's match preview, I've got so much to talk about. You guys are definitely going to enjoy this. I'm going to waste any more time. The last thing I will say is, if you do like today's video, do not forget to smash that like button. Help me get over 1,500 likes for today's video. And on that note, we start with the news surrounding Frank Lampard. Now, I need to warn you guys, there is some work happening in my apartment right now, so if you hear a lot of banging and noise, I did my best to minimize the noise. But you guys, let's focus on the positives. And today's positive is that Frank Lampard was officially given the Manager of the Month award, and it was rightly deserved. You know, for me, it still feels really surreal that I'm actually seeing Frank Lampard as our manager. You know, when I was a kid, I went to every single game. And I remember seeing Frank Lampard like it was yesterday. So to see him on the touchline as our manager, it really does feel like we've come such a long way so fast. And what I like about Frank is he's one of those elite guys. You know, there's no ifs and buts. You can't deny it. Yeah, of course, he was born in privilege, but, you know, and yeah, of course, we know that he was born in a privileged background. You know, his dad was an ex-football player. But Lampard has never taken that for granted. His mantra in life has always been to work hard, work hard, work hard. He worked hard and made him become a legendary player where players are going to look to him for the years to come. And now he's starting to make his name as a manager, and he's doing an amazing job right now. So honestly, you guys, this feels so surreal. I'm happy for him, and it's going to be the first of many personal honours he's going to get as a manager. But thanks for staying around. Now we move on to the predicted lineup part for today's video. I only see us using 2 lineups in tomorrow's game. We need to remember Jorginho is not going to be playing tomorrow. He picks up a suspension for picking up a yellow card in the previous game. Now for me, I knew he did it on purpose. It was so obvious. It was such an unnecessary yellow card that there was no way it was by accident. Without wasting any more time, you guys, let's focus on the first predicted lineup. And as you guys can see beside me, I've got Pulisic playing as the number 10. I've got Cover and Kante in midfield. And I've gone for Reece and Emerson as fullbacks. You know, I need to see these guys playing. I've been waiting to see a back four of Emerson, Zuma, Tomori and Reece for a long time. I feel like we can finally see that in tomorrow's game. You know, I can't imagine Lampard using Alonso for a long time. I can't imagine that happening. And with Aspie, he's been struggling a bit. In tomorrow's game, with how Palace are going to play, we need the technicality from our fullbacks. They need to provide that strength in the final third, that forward impetus, good crossing delivery, and helping us create the overloads down the flanks. And lastly, the thing that really excites me is seeing Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic playing together. Now, we haven't seen them combine too much over the past few games. That's because they're playing down opposite flanks, or most times they're getting subbed off from one another. But in tomorrow's game, hopefully we'll see them play together. Pulisic's done well playing as a number 10. I don't think we can deny that. And Hudson-Odoi is showing that, you know, playing out wide, he has those creative abilities as well as those offensive ones. So I'd love to see these two constantly interchanging positions. I like to see these guys, you know, run at their opponents, attack the spaces together. Against a Palace team not going to come to defense, the more attacking players we have, I think we're only going to profit from that. So I'm hoping to see that in tomorrow's game. Like, come on, look at the team. Imagine how exciting this team could be if we could see them play together. And I really feel confident, and even though I know I've been wrong so many times doing these, maybe confident isn't the right words. Let's say I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we are going to see this lineup in tomorrow's game. Moving on to the second predicted lineup in tomorrow's game, it's not too inspiring. You know, I'm not expecting any crazy decisions by Lampard. I've got Mason Mount playing as a 10 because we don't know right now whether he's going to be fit for tomorrow's game or not. The fact that he got called up by the England team could imply that there's hopes that he is going to be fully fit. And if that's the case, I can't see Lampard not starting him. If he does play, I'm guessing Pulisic will continue down that left-hand side, Willian down the right, Tammy up front, Cover and Kante in midfield. That's going to be interesting to see. I'm expecting Cover to play the Jorginho role in tomorrow's game. In quite a few games, I've seen Cover being the guy that's deepest in the pivot, receiving the passes from the centre back. So I'm guessing that's going to apply in tomorrow's game. And as you can see again, my love for Reece continues. After the performance he put in against Ajax, there's no way in hell this guy can't play against Crystal Palace in tomorrow's game. He's passed the test now, Frank. You need to start playing him. Now, to end things with the final segment, let's talk about Crystal Palace. I'm going to break down their danger men. I'm going to break down how they play, what we need to do to stop them, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on Palace fans and how I feel that they give that galvanising effect to the team that's really helped Palace become the club they've become in modern day football. So let's start with the first point. Crystal Palace are a team us fans know we need to respect. How many times have we played against them? They've got that unexpected win, or the important win that's really, messed up our season or messed up some part of our season. I respect Crystal Palace for those reasons. And already this season, they're 9th in the league. They've got points against Arsenal and they beat Man United. Their away form this season has been so impressive, and that's been the major reason why they're 9th in the league. Tomorrow's game is going to reunite us with Gary Cahill, and you know what, even though I have critiqued Cahill a lot, I still respect the player. Of course, at least he put effort in. I'm going to criticise his lack of ability at times, but one thing that we can't deny was that every time he played, he put in maximum effort. So for me, he does deserve a round of applause in tomorrow's game. But anyway, with Crystal Palace, are they really a team that have too many surprises? I don't think so. I think all of us collectively know that Crystal Palace are going to come to defend, play on the counter-attack, and they're most definitely going to be organised in tomorrow's game. So there's 3 things that we need to be careful of in tomorrow's game. The first thing is Crystal Palace's physical strength. Now already this season, most notably against Man United in the first game of the season, we've seen that we have struggled against teams that have that physical edge over us. Look at us, we're not the strongest team. We have a lot of young players that haven't fully grown into their bodies just yet. These guys need all the gym time they can get to get that upper body strength, and against Crystal Palace, the strength department could be the advantage they have. So we need to make sure that we're not playing the game in Palace's hands. The second thing we need to be careful of is Crystal Palace's set piece strength. Now, I spoke about how strong they are. Look at the team. How many players are above 6 foot? And think about it. Would it really be surprising if Gary Cahill scored from a set piece in tomorrow's game? I don't think so. I don't want to see that at all. Touching wood, that doesn't happen. But to limit Palace from having non-stop free kicks and corners, we can't afford to give away possession of the ball. But to limit Palace from getting free kicks, free corners, we can't give away stupid fouls or needlessly hit the ball out of play. We need to be smart with how we use the ball out wide. I don't see us being the team that's going to be good at set pieces until a lot of these guys get older and stronger. And to move on to the final threat, it's none other than Wilfried Zaha. And as I keep saying, the guy is a serious baller. He's one of the best attacking players in the league. He's really developed his game. Zaha now has that end product with his final balls. His movement in behind is top class. He has the ability to create something out from nothing, and he's one of the best guys to run at people in the league. Do I think that Zaha's the type of player that can be easily stopped? I don't think so, but I do think we can limit his influence in the game, and we can limit that influence if we stop Palace from pushing their fullbacks up. Van Aanholt's one of the best at making overlapping runs in the league, and he's been really good combining with Wilfried Zaha. Now that Schlupp, the former Leicester player, has been moved into midfield, he also has the opportunities to make those overlapping runs out wide, and we need to stop this because if these guys go up, it means that Zaha's going to be able to go 1v1 against his man. Zaha will be able to play between the lines. And the reason why I am focusing on Zaha, well, that's because he's really Palace's only threat. If we can stop him from doing anything, our chances of winning the game tomorrow exponentially improve. You guys, you know that I love my tactics. I can't help it. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I'm reading is tactical analysis reports. I'm a geek with this stuff, but I can't do a video without speaking about tactics for a tiny bit. Looking at Crystal Palace, these guys are going to be using a mid-block setup, and their game plan is going to be to pack those central areas. Now, it's something I say all the time, let's be honest, most tactics aren't really original in the Premier League. The reason why they are going to play like this is because if you're a team like Palace, you want to force your opponents to play out wide. If you're forcing your opponents out wide, it means that you can keep your organized defensive positioning in those central areas. And the main reason why they do this is because, and say it with me, they want to stop us playing between the lines. Now, the reason why playing between the lines is so important is because our attacking players do their best work in those areas. And Crystal Palace will make sure that they stifle us from playing there and limit the impact of our key attacking players, because these guys have the ability to beat the press, play people in, skip past their man, and that creates that defensive disorganization. As I said, if we do use attacking fullbacks that are going to constantly stretch the play, and if we're patient on the ball and don't force stupid attacks every single time to give free counter-attacks to Palace, then you guys, I'm feeling confident. My final score prediction for tomorrow's game is going to be 2-1 to us. I can just see us messing up and giving away a fake goal as usual. But anyway, before I keep it moving, 888 Sport got in contact with me and they asked me, does Selhurst Park have the best atmosphere in the league? Of course, it makes a lot of sense. We're playing against Crystal Palace tomorrow, and it got me thinking a lot. Why are Crystal Palace constantly able to still stay in the league? You know, every season, the final stages of that season, that's when Crystal Palace find new form. It's like they turn Super Saiyan all of a sudden, and they start playing better than they ever had throughout the course of the season. And I've always felt the main reason for that is the incredible support they receive at home. And I think that's because the Palace fans understand what it means to support their club. If they're not delusional like, let's say, Newcastle fans or Arsenal fans, you know, they don't think they're better than what they are. Palace fans understand that they're not going to win anything. They're not going to sign the best players. It's going to be hard for them to really progress up the league table without investment, and they're okay with that. They're okay with that because that's their local club. They've seen a lot of boys from the youth team come up into the first team, and they appreciate the small moments. That's why when they're winning against a big club, it does feel like a cup win. It does get you thinking, as fans, could we learn from Crystal Palace? I think so. When I was a kid, the atmosphere at Stamford Bridge was completely different. You know, these days, all we ever hear is carefree, carefree, carefree. You know, the applause isn't as crazy as it used to be. When I was a kid, it was non-stop singing, non-stop passion. You know, in the East Stand, it was completely different. Imagine the East Stand with more atmosphere. It was completely different times. But I think today, things are completely different. I can't blame fans for not having that emotional investment because, you know, over the past few years, everything's been success at all costs. You know, with all the cash investment, it's only meant that the games become more expensive for us. And of course, when you're spending so much money on a passion of yours, then you want results. It's as simple as that. We want our money's worth. But I think things are looking a lot more positive now, you guys. With the introduction of our former legend Frank Lampard reigning the helms at the club right now, with him introducing so many young players into the team, we've seen these guys grow up in the academy, we've seen these guys on loan, and now we're seeing them in the first team. That emotional connection's back, and that's why every win feels so big, feels so vital, and feels so impactful because every win means something. The size of a stadium doesn't correlate to better atmosphere, it's the quality of the support in the first place, and to get that support, you need your fans to have that emotional investment for the team, for the players, for the manager, and that's what we have right now, you guys. But anyway, you guys will find the full link to the video in the description below. Make sure that when you go to the full video, comment. I'm going to be in that comment section, we can talk, and I want you guys to comment, who do you think has the best atmosphere and the best ground in the Premier League? I'll see you guys in that comment section. As I said, link in the description below. I'm going to wrap things up and keep it moving. Thank you for watching, boys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm MimiFC. This is Blue Lions TV. See you guys in a bit.